Hello and welcome to your news update for Friday, August 24th, 2018. We have a lot to get to in regards to the Long Island Railroad, and of course, I'm going to have this video edited out in two parts. One, of course, for the LIRR, and another one for Hurricane Lane coverage. So this video will, of course, be considerate to, of course, my viewers here in New York and Long Island, and of course, my viewers in Hawaii who are just dealing with catastrophic conditions down in the Hawaiian Islands today. Quickly off topic, if you have not downloaded it yet, if you are a Mike Francesa fan, the brand new Mike's On app is available, and I am very happy for the price of $8.99 a month that you're going to be getting a lot of good stuff, hopefully. Mike promised that there is going to be frequent content on the app, and honestly, it's certainly a whole lot cheaper than paying for SiriusXM and expecting, oh, I'm paying this much for Sirius, and yet Chris Russo is like charging me more money to watch or listen to his show than Mike just charging $8 a month. And the best part about this, that it's a very simple app to use. I was using it just now, and the remarkability of the video quality from Bar A today was phenomenal. And honestly, I'm going to say this now, Mike was very considerate to the person like me who doesn't own a debit or credit card. If you can get a Google Play card or an iTunes card, I would highly recommend you do that if you have cash on hand, like normally I do, because it's a very good thing. It honestly makes the experience a whole lot easier, and the people at CAA did a fantastic job with this app. A lot of good stuff. If you are a Mike Francesa fan like I am, I encourage you. $8.99 is not the end of the world. It's, let me think, 8 times 12. So if you do that, 8 times 5 is 40. So if you do that, that's 48. And you add that up, that's about 56. Right, 80. 88. Yeah, I think the regular price was like $98 a year. You basically save about $5. So I'm going to do it right now. My 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, about $6 you're saving for an entire year if you do the monthly. So I did see the monthly. It's like $98. That's how much tunage charging. So I would recommend doing the monthly instead. You save about $5 a year, in my opinion. Which without $5, what I can do with is get a Long Island Railroad ticket one way. So, yes, the app is available, Google Play and iOS. So if you haven't checked it out yet, that's why I recommend checking it out. Quickly, I want to mention before we get to a couple transportation issues, we have some quality of life issues we need to discuss. Number one, if you haven't seen my Twitter, you're seeing it on your screen right now. There has been something vandalized. That's right, a traffic light box on the corner of 73rd Avenue and 185th Street. This is an intersection I've had problems with the past 2 years because, number one, it's literally right by the Andy's Rant in the studios. And two, the issue here with that box is that, honestly, somebody vandalized it back in April. I told my neighbors, I told everybody, call 311, but they were scared. Nobody wanted to call 311. So I'm like, no, why don't I tweet 311? So that's what I decided to do. And I'm looking at the tweet right now, and I will read it right now. As the picture is up on your screen. Of course, this will be edited on Wondershare. Good afternoon. Thank you for providing pictures. The DOT will accept customer comments to note the condition regarding the graffiti. Please, making sure it's right, please DM for further assistance. So I DM them. It's about 3 o'clock right now. I'm going to let this play out until next week because Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday I will be at work. Wednesday I'm going to Manhattan for a day trip. Even though it will be humid, I'd rather just wait it out until Thursday, or if my parents aren't home, I'll just call 311 and then I'll take care of it with them that way. But I had to report it because it's New York City property, number one, and number two, it just makes the neighborhood look bad. You don't want an upper middle class area like Fresh Meadows becoming, a dump. Like, let's say how I'm trying to think of Jamaica's the obvious. I mean, why would I criticize Jamaica even further? I'm trying to think what neighborhood is letting itself go downhill in terms of quality. Oh, St. Albans, right. You don't want another St. Albans. You don't. So, that's why I'm reporting it. It was probably some reckless kid who thought it was fun to do, but in reality it's graffiti overall, and you shouldn't be doing that, especially on New York City property, which, again, if people are going to be walking from the park and they might want to take the bus on 188th Street, the Q17, the Q88, that's going to give people a bad impression of the area. And not to mention, somebody from the preschool should have called 311. They should have called the DOT and told them, the kids are going to wonder, what is this thing on the traffic light thing? It even scares off the kids from what I'm hearing. So, I'm just going to say this now. I'll keep you guys posted. I'm hoping by next month it'll be gone by the start of the school season. And another quick announcement I want to mention before we get to our next quality of life issue here in Fresh Meadows very quickly. I'm encouraging anyone right now, anyone at the moment, if you drive on 73rd Avenue regularly during rush hour, and if you're not a parent picking up your kid at Preschool of America on 73rd Avenue, or you're not going to Rite Aid on 188th Street, or you're not purposely planning to go to the church on Utopia Parkway, or going to the park, and if you're just trying to find an excuse to take the LIE or the Grand Central and say, oh, I'm just going to take 73rd Avenue and not care about the residents because they're parking the box. Morons, and I'm sorry for calling you this because you need a reality check. You're literally making hell for the residents. Me, my parents, my neighbors, we're all sick and tired of it. So I'm urging you, starting on September 4th, from the hours of 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Friday, until the school year is over, or until there's federal holidays when New York City schools are not open, because I blame it on people who want to drive. Get off 73rd Avenue. Alright? If you want to take Union Turnpike can handle the extra traffic. If you want to take Horace Harney Expressway, take Horace Harney Expressway. If you want to use Hillside Avenue, go to Hillside Avenue. But don't use 73rd Avenue if you have no purpose of being in Fresh Meadows. I'm sorry for being rude, but since 2016, I have noticed that this problem is getting worse. And I notice it starts right when school begins. So once again, if you are not picking up your kid from the preschool, if you're not going to Rite Aid or the Natural Market, or if you're not going to the park on 73rd, just please do not use 73rd Avenue between 3 to 7 p.m. And if possible, I urge anyone, just leave your car at home and take mass transit. We have the Q17, the Q30, the Q31, Q46, and Q88. That is enough bus service for people during that time frame. They run frequently. And not to mention, after 4 o'clock eastbound, you get a lot of limited bus service going to Long Island Jewish. I know, I had to make that rant, but it had to be done now. I didn't want to do it at the brick wall because I don't know if it'll get windy, and I know it's going to be hot, so I'll just do it in the air-conditioned area. Alright, so now that we got that over with, we got to talk about a quality of life issue in Nassau County. Oh my god, I'm so teary today. Why am I so teary? Randomly bringing that up. It must be the changing weather outside, because it is less humid out there. So anyhow, the issue is There's a rat infestation going around East Meadow, Levittown, Seaford, and Wantagh, I hear. And fantastic news story from Kristen Thorne that I'm going to put in the card right now. And another video I was able to grab from the WABC website, which will now get to the Long Island Railroad for me rambling on for 10 minutes. Now we'll get to the good stuff. There is this issue going around in Central Islip. Central Islip, East... Yeah, it was Central Islip. So, the issue is, in Central Islip, I can confirm it right now. If it's not Central Islip, I apologize. I'll correct myself as I'm recording this. I am going to pull up the article right now. Yes, it's East Islip. It's East Islip. So, what's going on in East Islip is that apparently there were trees being cut down near the railroad tracks on the Montauk branch. This is definitely the Montauk branch. I can confirm that right now. But this is definitely along the Montauk branch. And keeping in mind, East Islip is a residential area. And it's very rude to the people that they have to deal with, honestly, the noise going around 24/7. And I'm trying to make sure I can pull up this image on my screen right now because it's so tiny. Excellent. Now I can read it. And keeping in mind with East Islip, and this is the big issue here with regards to where East Islip is pretty much located. First of all, I know for a fact, again, it's right by the Montauk branch. Literally on the South Shore, right? And I can understand, well, you know, we have the train tracks near us. We have, honestly, the trees used to be there and now they're not. So, it's causing us big headaches. Why are we dealing with this? Why did you cut down our trees? And honestly, again, I don't want to see trees get cut down that much unless it's for a good reason. Like, if a tree is dead, then I can understand why you can be upset about it. And the in-between points of East Islip on the Montauk branch are Islip and Great River, which the trains normally go to Sparnak on weekdays. So pretty much, I can understand why these people are annoyed. And I'm going to leave you the video for that right now as well on the other card, because right now, you know, it's bad enough the railroad's a big mess, and we have to talk about what's going on here. And, you know, it's just awful to even hear that you're cutting down trees because you don't want to delay service. Well, you don't want to delay service. At least have some consideration for the people who got peace and quiet. You know? Don't send Jim Dolan out to do a story like this if people are just going to be angry. And again, I like Jim Dolan. He's been with Channel 7 for a long time. But this honestly should have never even happened in the first place. It's just a waste of time, in my opinion, that you had to cut down these trees in the first place. So, now that we're done with me rambling on and on and on about what I needed to talk about, because honestly, I need to get it all out in one video. Now we're going to talk about the LIRR, and then part 2 in this video will be about Hurricane Lane's devastation towards the Hawaiian Islands. This is the part of the video where I have to talk to you all about, again, my frustration on the Ronkonkoma branch these days. It's certainly gotten to me, a lot of people, and especially Pine Power Ally and Matt Camper. Because we're sick and tired of dealing with the railroad's antics trying to get express service between Hicksville and Mineola. So, here's the issue with the Ronkonkoma branch. The second track project is finally getting complete. But now, we have another problem. We have another problem. Guess what? the railroad did something very evil. Very evil. And I do want to blame Elisa Pica on it, because she's honestly responsible for this. But anyhow, let's read what's going on here. After decades of talk and years of construction, the MTA expects to finish the construction of the LIRR second track between Ronkonkoma and Farmingdale by the end of this summer. That's worthy of applause, even if it's tinged with a bit of incredible... I can't even read that word, I'm sorry. That yes, in 2018, the nation's busiest commuter railroad would be finishing up installing a double track. Those who live near the railroad's path have watched as old tracks were removed and new tracks were added. Those who ride the LIRR have had to adjust to accommodate weekend and overnight work, service outages, and signal testing, and have endured plenty of frustrating delays every time there's a problem on the existing single track. And of course, no improvement project can put an end to every freak occurrence on the repeated stupidity of truck drivers who strike railroad bridges, like the one in Garden City back on Wednesday. But soon, many LIRR riders, particularly on the Ronkonkoma branch, hopefully will see some relief. That'll come with new switches and signals and station upgrades, aka the inferior Hicksville station. Perhaps the most significant benefit will be the redundancy the second track will provide, especially when there's a problem. Until now, a stalled train, a person on or car on the tracks, or anything else that happened would hold service often for hours, because trains would have no way getting around the problem. Now, there will be the alternative thanks to the second track. MTA officials say they expect the response time during a disruption to improve, the length of the disruption to shorten, and the number of trains affected to decrease. If all goes well, there should be fewer and shorter delays and improved on-time performance, particularly on the Ronkonkoma branch, and that's welcome news. Once double track service begins, the LIRR will be held to the promises it made. The double track will also allow the LIRR to add trains into the reverse commute during peak hours, so that those who want to work on the island and live to the west finally might be able to do so. That would be important to the Long Island's future business and employment growth. The double track already is propelling economic development across the island itself, including housing and commercial construction like Ronkonkoma, Wyandanch, and Farmingdale. A reopened LIRR station near a public airport in Farmingdale and related development there would also add to the mix. Babylon town officials should also improve zoning changes there to get their plan moving too. That is, of course, more to do. The LIRR is underway on the third track between Hicksville and Floral Park, a project that includes removing grade crossings and replacing rail bridges, like the one stuck on Wednesday, with those that will have greater clearance. And we're still waiting and being impatient about the long-delayed East Side Access Project to connect the LIRR to Grand Central Terminal. Which, again, to this day, I'm still annoyed that I've been hanging out in the east side of Manhattan more often these days, and yet, if I want to go to Grand Central and take the LIRR, I don't have that luxury right now. So I have to wait another 4 years just to have that luxury. And that luxury better come as an early holiday present in 2022. The main thing is, I'll just quickly go off topic. Can the new Penn Station open already? I'm getting sick and tired of the old one. It's a wasteland. But hey, at least the good news is they spent so much time in the Amtrak Plaza renovating the bathrooms for those so many months this year. What else? It will take another 4 years to complete the trifecta, and the full impact of increased capacity, added tracks to other improvements won't be felt until all three projects are finished, but the approaching opening of the double track is the first step, and it's worth celebrating. 1 down, 2 to go. There's going to be more headaches coming to the Ronkonkoma branch, and now we're going to take a look at it. And they have it right here, upon completion. A date to be announced. The Ronkonkoma branch timetable is below to be taking effect. So, pretty much, this is what they have here. They have a big highlight for this. The only negative thing is what's going to happen to those homes for the third track. I still wonder that. But my priority will still be east side access. Okay, eastbound 607 train from Penn Station has been extended to Ronkonkoma, providing a direct transfer to the 7:30 a.m. eastbound train to Greenport. Westbound 6:25 p.m. weekday train from Farmingdale to Penn Station will now originate out of Ronkonkoma at 5:57 p.m. Also, the 7 p.m. weekday train from Farmingdale to Penn Station will now originate out of Ronkonkoma at 6:36 p.m., providing a new connection with the 6:10 p.m. train from Yaphank. So, pretty much, the railroad's growing, more and more people are riding it. I'm going to quote the snob, have you been on the highways lately? Because honestly, it's not just the Penn State South Shore people. We have to deal with it on the LIE and the Northern State every day. So, I'm hoping with the growing population out on the Ronkonkoma branch, people start to use it more. We got one down, hopefully, by the end of September, and let's hope that we can keep this going, because I'm getting really impatient about the new Penn opening and, more importantly, finally getting east side access to Grand Central Terminal. Alright, so let's see what we got. I'm trying to find that schedule for PTC testing. Yeah, here we go. So, the railroad didn't tell us about this. I didn't mention this in the service changes video. Turns out, this Sunday, August 26th, we are going to have weekend track work. This is only going to be on Sunday. So, pretty much, what's going to happen is service will be reduced to 2 hours between... here we go, right here. Service is going to be reduced. So if you're riding the Port Washington branch, it's going to be reduced. So just please remember that. From half-hourly to hourly. One more weekend it looks like, but let's hope that during the U.S. Open they don't do any PTC work. And last thing we're going to talk about is the PTC deadline. Looks like the LIRR, because of this, will finally get the PTC installed on the LIRR, which again, we need it. We need the PTC because accidents can happen and we need to prevent them, to make sure there are no more further delays on the LIRR. Okay, LIRR is not at risk of missing in the summer deadline to have positive train control technology up and running on trains and tracks, according to a new federal report. The report from the Federal Railroad Administration follows the progress made by railroads throughout the U.S. in installing the crash prevention technology commonly known as PTC, which uses radio transponders to automatically stop a train before it becomes involved in an awful accident and crash. According to the report, out of 40 railroads, 9 are at risk of missing the December 31st, 2018 federal deadline to have PTC functioning on at least a segment of their systems. The good news is the 9 railroads do not include the LIRR and Metro North. So it looks like, folks, Philip Bing is going to probably avoid some controversy. So that's very good news. The snobs are not going to have to beg him to be fired. Okay. They were both identified by the Federal General Accountability Office back in February as among the railroads that may have not had allocated sufficient time to meet the deadline. And of course, we have the controversy in New Jersey regarding NJT. Keeping in mind, we have the issue with regards to what is going to happen with the start of the Atlantic line, the Atlantic City line being out for the rest of the year. So, see, I do have to do a video about the planned service changes for that. I will do it for you guys in New Jersey. You have my word. But, going back on topic, LIRR spokesman said last week that the railroad is committed to outfitting our system with PTC as we will work towards full federal compliance by the end of the year. The FRA reported that 14 railroads have already met federal compliance standards, and that overall railroads showed significant improvement in reaching their PTC goals in the second quarter of 2018. While we are seeing progress among a majority of railroads, we want to see everyone meet their requirements, FRA Administrator Ronald Badtroy said. So, pretty much, it's getting interesting. It's getting really interesting that we're going to have the PTC installed. I'm really happy about that. But New Jersey, they really put themselves in a big hole. And I know I don't want to play politics here, but I'm going to have to blame Christie. He's the one that caused the mess in New Jersey in the first place. Oh, sorry. I don't think it's a top priority for New Jersey. Once again, another example of fat turd pretty much hurting New Jersey. And what's Crooked Smile gonna do? Of course he's gonna have to blame fat turd. Of course he is. But I'm glad I don't live in New Jersey. Because believe me, I don't want to deal with an accident happening in Jersey when next year we're back again and New Jersey gets criticized because fat turd didn't comply with FRA standards. Thank goodness the FRA told everybody to put the PTC. Because after that derailment on Metro North a few years ago, that's why we need it. So I'm glad it's going to be installed on the LIRR. Because next year, when I know I'm running the LIRR, I'll feel safe riding it. Because if something happens, hopefully it'll be a preventative accident. But hopefully we will not have a situation on the subways where the brakes automatically get deployed because something stupid's in the way. Alright, so now that we got that out of the equation, this is the end of part 1. Now stay tuned for part 2 as I will talk to you all about Hurricane Lane. We're looking at a satellite image right now of Lane. As you can tell, all of the islands are getting hammered right now. I should have gotten you another radar image. We'll quickly Google it in just a sec. Honolulu radar. I want to see what the rain bands are right now. Give you all an idea of what's to come. So this is the latest image right now. The bands are over here in Maui and Oahu. Of course, these bands are trying to go right here. Right up there in Kauai. So, once again, this is a serious storm. As I have been mentioning many times the past couple days. Changes to watches and warnings, none. Let's just read this. Hurricane Lane right now is Category 2 storm. Maximum sustained winds of 110 miles an hour. Hurricane Lane was located 180 miles south of Honolulu and around 145 miles west-southwest of Kauai Kona. Lane's moving slowly towards the north at 6 miles an hour now. As a slow northward motion is expected to continue today. Turn towards the west is anticipated on Saturday, which is tomorrow, which will increase in forward speed. On the latest forecast track, the center of Lane will move dangerously closer to the portions of the central Hawaiian Islands later tonight and into tomorrow. As I said, forecasts can change, so keep an eye on it. Maybe I'll do another update later tonight if I have to. When will they will be issued around noon or sooner if conditions warrant. So it's a statement right now. So peak wind gusts 50 to 75 miles an hour. Surf swell is 15 to 25 feet. Rain already forecasted and already recorded at 30 inches in the Hawaiian Islands. So it's very scary to even see or hear what's going on. Here's another radar loop. Very scary, as you can tell. So the only thing I can get you right now. Yeah, here is another interesting picture. right there. But from the lane, it looks like it's moving in a different direction. So that was very odd. This is a different one. The radar is, of course, going around, and as you can see, it's a very different loop for lane right here. Yeah, so Big Island is still under a flash flood warning. So once again, very scary. We have a couple things I need to show you. Like, we'll pull up the spaghetti model right now. Just give you an idea of what's to come. So you can take a look at it right now. As you can see from the spaghetti model, it looks like it's getting a little more easier to understand here. It looks like a couple of the spaghetti models, and I agree with the meteorologists on this. Looks like it's going to go this way. This is the most likely track, as you're looking at those dots right now. So the spaghetti models are now in agreement. We'll see what the GFS is thinking. Quickly want to show you. No, we'll do that at the end of the video. So, yes, this is the spaghetti model. This is where it thinks it will go. But it's not over yet. Just have to get through one more day of it. So what's GFS think? Well, GFS thinks, here we go. It's going to go my own way. So GFS thinks it's going to go differently. Now we'll take a look at NavGem, see what it thinks. NavGem has the storm. Yep, going that way. Going with the spaghetti model. So NavGem is not going with the GFS. Not at this point. It's going to the left. So, lastly, we're going to read this article. 31 inches of rain on Hawaii's Big Island has brought catastrophic flooding. 40 inches of rain is possible. The Big Island and eastern Maui are expected to be the hardest hit. Dangerous storm could lead to life-threatening landslides or mudslides. Here is a landslide right here from the DOT in Hawaii. Here is, let's look at this for a sec. See if it'll play. So as you can see, this is not good. 2-3 feet deep of water. That is just scary to even look at. I tried playing this earlier, but now it's gonna play. Man, look at this. Downtown Hilo, all flooded. So we're finally getting our first real storm reports from this storm. And it's just awful to see what's going on down there. Peak wind gusts so far on the Big Island have been at 68 miles an hour and 50 on Maui and Oahu. Beaches facing the shore and west could see waves up to 25 feet later today and a storm surge of up to 2 to 4 feet, which could lead to damaging beach erosion. The storm is going to weaken, as the radar is saying, but honestly, this is the worst of it right now. I don't need to go into it again. Yep. People are just freaking out. People waiting for the arrival. So we have a user here on Twitter who just tweeted out earlier this morning at VMonroe76, this crazy wind blew out 2 windows in our hotel. So let's see what happened. Yep. So one of the wind, as you can see in this video, in fact, I'll play the sound for just a second. And I'm sorry if it echoed there, but you all get an idea of how bad this storm pretty much has become. And we also had a brush fire earlier this morning. We'll read this part right now. As crews battle the storm, they are also facing a fire. 1 a.m. Friday in Lahaina in Maui, a brush fire broke out. So here's a picture of it. The Weather Channel did mention it as well, so that's why I was thinking, I hope this article was going to mention it, because if it didn't, I was going to research information about the brush fire, but thankfully this ABC News article did so. And I'm sure tonight on World News with David Muir, he will talk about it, and hopefully Tom Yamas or somebody is on the ground in Hawaii covering this, because Tom Yamas last year during Harvey did a fantastic job covering it. So hopefully him. I forget the guy who does the nature show on ABC, but he's also Matt Gutman. That's the guy. I hope he's down there too. I'm sure you might see one of them tonight on World News. Water rough winds, torrential rain set in. Hawaiian residents and visitors flock to storm to stock up on food, water, and gas. There are about 300,000 tourists in the state. Yep, all the storm shelters are empty. People boarding up their windows. So as I mentioned, we're finally getting our first storm reports. So I figured to wrap up this video, let's see if Hawaii News Now has any information regarding this. Alright, so to wrap up this video, we're going to look at the pictures from the storm right now. Already more catastrophic pictures. We got like 57 of them to take a look at right now from HawaiiNewsNow.com. Mudslides, down trees, flooded road. Looks like potentially another mudslide. This looks really scary right here. More flooding. I don't know where these people were, but they shouldn't be on that bridge, that's for sure. More flooding. More flooding. More flooding. It's just remarkable. What's this one? What's this picture? Ooh, that might be a water spout. And that might look like a water spout. Let's see. More flooding. Man, look at that. That looks like Niagara Falls. Here's a residential street that's pretty much been flooded. Big hill up here. It's a big stream of water. This house definitely looks like there's going to be property damage to it. More people on the street. You know, you can't not feel sympathy for these people. You really can't. Here's somebody trying to leave their house. People trying to walk away from flooding, but they're just stuck in it. Yeah, more the picture of the house that could be flooded right here. What's this one? Ooh, this might look like a park or a golf course. I don't know what this is, but it looks definitely flooded. Yeah, and this is scary right here. It's a video, but it doesn't really help me. More flooding. Man, look at this. The storm surge is going up and up and up. This highway looks like it's flooded. So you look at these pictures and yeah, someone's stuck in the water. Not a good place to be. Somebody else walking in it. To be honest, again, I think this looks way worse than what modern hurricanes have done. This looks worse than Sandy. This looks worse than what Fort Myers, Houston, and Puerto Rico went through last year. And I can't officially say this is worse than Hurricane Katrina. I don't know if I can't even say that yet. Yeah, and this is another scary one. This road closed because of flooding. I went too fast on these, but I think that's a stuck car. That is a stuck car. There's like 3 photos taken of this. Apparently somebody's car got stuck in flooding. Yep, they must have been screwed. Yeah, here's a park closed off to flooding. The water's just coming up. I think this is our last picture. We were able to get a downed tree. So already we're finally seeing some pictures and some videos online. I hope I can get more for you later tonight or tomorrow from this, because honestly I'm hoping the next couple of days the media is going to talk about it more. And I'm sure, if anything, President Trump's probably going to go to Hawaii probably next week or the week after, if anything, to look at the damage. But it's just awful to see this, and I'm going to keep updating this as much as I can tomorrow and into next week. So that's where we're going to wrap it up for this news update for the afternoon. That's it. Thank you for watching. Till the next one, take care.